Hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to the Lost post season 2 Ramble. The following video contains personal opinions which you may disagree with. It also contains theories to the future of the show which may or may not be wrong or right. I don't really care. I think the important thing, especially with a show like this, is to keep asking questions, not necessarily just to be right. So as I expound my theories and try to answer my own questions during this video, please do not tell me whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, or even how wrong or how right I am. That barely matters, and I will consider it spoilers. During the next 4 seasons, scenes and episodes will either confirm or deny my theories. Now, before I started, in preparation for this video, I rewrote out all the questions I have that are still outstanding for the show. You know, who is, what is going on. As I reread those notes, a theory started to form. It's only half a theory at the moment and isn't really based on much evidence. But for what evidence we have got, it kind of fits. How I got there, I will explain in a moment. But first, I will answer some of the other questions that you have, such as the soundtrack. I was asked what my favourite track on the soundtrack is, and I've got to admit that I haven't listened to the soundtrack out of context of the show, and it's really hard to judge the music while you're actually trying to watch the episode. It's just sort of in the background, in the periphery of your hearing. So yeah, at some point in the future I will sit and listen fully to the soundtracks, and I can give you an answer then. Can't give you an answer now. Number 2, which season do I prefer, season 1 or season 2? And that is a really hard one because of the condensed timeline. It feels like just a continuation of the story. I mean, season 1 was 70% plot driven, trying to present all these mysteries. And we've learnt very, very little about the characters themselves. Season 2 has been very character driven. We had a lot of character development. I think it was about 70% character development and 30% just expanding those mysteries. So, which one do I prefer? Probably season 2, because it had a lot more character development and the plots were so much thicker, so much more dense. So yeah, okay, season 2 at the moment. Is the world a snow globe? No. No, I think the end scene with Penny and the Russians at that monitoring station, I think that proves that the real world still exists, and that the island is in some way still connected to the real world. So is the world a snow globe? It's a globe and it has snow, but no. What will happen to Mike and Walt? I don't think Walt has been lauded as this special kid, like way, way above. I mean, they said that they wanted John Locke because he was one of the good guys, but they wanted Walt for something way, way beyond that. It's not just that he's a good guy. Walt is special. I don't know why he's special, but he is to them, and they're not going to let him go that easily. So yeah, Mike's not going to get anywhere. He's going to sail around probably for days upon days, maybe even a few weeks, until he's absolutely driven crazy with desperation, and then he'll land on the island, well away from everybody else, on the other side of the island. And then it's going to take ages for him to get him back in contact, or to come back in contact with our group, and then he's going to pay for what he's done. and Walt's going to get recaptured at some point. That's what I think. Who is Henry Gale? Now, it's quite obvious he's the leader. He's the leader of the others. But quite what he is, I mean, I suspect that he might be a Dharma operative, like an actual current Dharma operative. And I don't think all the others are. Who are the good guys? No one. I don't think any of the groups have really proven themselves to be the good guys, but I think every single group believes they are the good guys. I think it's a case of myth. Stories getting warped and changed over the years. This is what I think. This whole island and all the weird things we've heard have happened but haven't actually seen are all because of myth and lies that have been told to some people and not to others, and it's all got all mixed up till nobody knows what the hell the truth really is. And I think this is probably back in the 70s with the Dharma Initiative. Is Desmond or Echo or John still alive? Well, Desmond, probably not. I mean, he pretty much blew himself up. As for Echo and John, they're far, far too important to the plot to kill off at this stage. So I'm thinking probably not. Is Station 3 doing a real job or not? I'll come back to that. How do I feel about so many women being killed off in one season in a show that has very few female leads? I didn't even register that everyone that got killed off this season was female. I don't know how, but yeah, I'm not happy about it. I mean, we had Shannon killed off very, very early on. Libby and Anna in the same episode. We had Cindy disappear before we even got a chance to even know her. But we've had the introduction of Alex, who I think is going to become important later on. We've now got Penny in the outside world, and I think she's going to become a main character. Maybe not straight away, maybe she's a recurring character for a while, but I think she's become very important. And we have 30 odd other people from the original Crash that we have barely met. Well, we haven't met really, we've seen them in the background. So there's plenty of new characters to introduce should the need arise, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm more worried about the fact that they allowed us to get to know Shannon and Libby and Anna and then killed them off right in front of us in such a cruel and stupid way. And of course we still have Sun and Kate and Rose and Danielle. But yeah, with all the men, yeah, it's not enough, is it really? We need some more female characters being introduced and not killed off. Okay then, I'm going to move on to the questions that I have, and they'll cover all the other questions that you have as well. And be prepared, it's going to be a long one. I'm going to have to read it off the page so that I don't miss anything. So, my first question would be, what did Kelvin think he was signing up for? Because he mentioned that he did actually sign up for the Dharma Initiative. It's probably the last custodian to actually directly work for Dharma. But what did he think he was signing up for? What did they tell him before he got to the island? Of course, we've still got another 4 orientation videos to watch. So I'm wondering what's on those orientation videos, because we've seen 5 of 6 and 3 of 6. So there's still another 4 orientation videos to watch. 6 seasons. Probably get 1 a season. If Dharma set up Station 3 to study the electromagnetic fluctuations, where did the magnet originally come from? And if pushing the button vents that electromagnetism from building to deadly proportions, who vented it and how was it vented before the Dharma Initiative arrived on the island? Did the Dharma Initiative in fact create this big magnet in some sort of experiment that went wrong and then had to deal with it in that way? I don't know the answers to that. If the button needs to be pushed every 108 minutes to stop the electromagnetic force building to deadly proportions, why don't we hear the steady build-up of the electromagnetic force during the 108 minutes? What changes at that point to suddenly make it go into overdrive mode? Is the electromagnetic force in fact hiding the island? And if not, what is hiding the island from the outside world? I don't know whether the Russians, whether they picked up the or detected the force because Desmond blew the hatch or because nobody pushed the button. It seemed to me like it was the hatch being blown that caused it to suddenly appear to the outside world. And if so, is it still visible? Why were those numbers chosen for the code? And exactly how does that affect the luck of a lottery winner on the other side of the world? This was a question from season 1. It still hasn't been answered. The numbers don't seem to have played a significant role this season, apart from just being the code. Yeah, it's one of the bigger mysteries that is hanging here. The door. The map on the back of the security blast door. From what I can tell, there are 8 marked facilities on the map. 7 round the edge and 1 in the middle, the Pearl. But the mark at about the 11 o'clock position does seem to be blanked out. It isn't as bright as the others. I'm wondering, is this a fake hatch or one that never got built? In fact, a bit like the one that Saeed found on the beach. Just a door leading to a rock face. In which case, there are 6 hatches around the edge and 1 in the middle, the Pearl. 7 facilities, but 6 orientation videos. So what is the purpose of the 7th? Is that where the real work was being done? In fact, is that blanked out facility even relevant? Or was it just one that Kelvin didn't get round to painting in ultraviolet paint? Are the others ex-custodians of one facility or another? Were they told a different lie? Were they shown a different orientation video? Is that why they believe that the Swan is a fake and that they're the actual good guys? This is where I was leading with my myths and lies and being twisted. Could it be that all the various groups in all the facilities at one point were told a different lie? And maybe the others, or the ones that at the others' hatch, were told that there was a sickness and that they needed inoculation. Because we've heard a lot about this sickness, but we haven't actually seen anyone get sick. Apart from little Aaron, and that was just normal. It wasn't the deadly sickness. And that would explain why they tried to inoculate and vaccinate Claire and Claire's baby. Yeah, I think all the facilities at some point were told a different lie about the island, And then all those lies have got mixed up as the groups have dispersed. Some have gone off the island, others have been replaced by non-Dharma people like John, and now nobody knows what the real truth is, and everyone believes that their lie is the truth. I could draw parallels here to religion, but I don't think I will. Why did Henry want so much for John to not press the button? Was he just trying to get under John's skin? Or did he truly believe that Station 3 was a fake, a joke? And now what does he think? Now that he's seen what happened when Des done the thing. He didn't seem that fazed, almost as if he knew that was going to happen. So was that the idea all along, to get John to not press the button so that explosion thing, whatever it was, happened? Was that Henry's plan all along? See, Henry, I have decided, is ruthless, despicable. He's a brilliant character. I absolutely love him. But he is despicable, he is ruthless, he is controlling, he's egotistical, because the way he was saying about his leader being a great man and a fantastic man and a brilliant man, and it turns out that leader is him, makes him sound a bit egotistical, doesn't it? But he's dangerous, that's definite. Right, next subject. Okay, we have apparently 3 miracles that have happened on the island, but only one has been confirmed that we know about as definite. How was John originally paralysed? That's a question, again, I've been asking since Walkabout. It seems so long ago. Every flashback, apart from the few flashbacks in the airport and that actual episode Walkabout, all the flashbacks for John have been before his accident. I'm starting to think that actually what caused his paralysis isn't important. The important thing is that he was paralysed and now he isn't. But I kind of still want to know. I know it's not important, but I want to know. Second one, is Rose cured? She says she feels like her cancer has been cured because of the island, and she feels like it's a miracle, but we have no way of testing that at the moment. So that's a little bit unclear. I think we've probably got to assume that she knows and it is cured. But we've got no real proof of that. Same as Jin's infertility seems to have been cured. With Sun being pregnant, that's the only explanation. Again, we don't know the truth of that. It could not. There might not be Jin's baby. I don't think Sun is the kind of woman that would sleep around or have an affair, especially not lately, because her and Jin have been getting on quite well. But it's a possibility. But again, I think we're supposed to assume that, yeah, Jin's infertility has been miraculously cured. The island does seem to want children, doesn't it? Walt, Aaron, Alex when she was a baby, and all those children that were taken from the Tau section, survivors. So it would make sense that the island would, yeah, give itself every chance of getting children on there. Right, moving on. What is the smoke? What is Smokey? And how does it fit with everything else that's going on in the island? This is a tough one because we've seen it several times. It does definitely seem to be sentient, or at least controllable. Are the others controlling it? Is Dharma responsible for its creation? Or is this something natural or supernatural? Alien? I don't know. As a mystery, it seems very isolated from all the other mysteries that are going on the island. And it's the only thing that I can't fit into my theories. The statue with 4 toes on its foot, or the remains of a statue. I'm thinking, is that the remains of some ancient indigenous peoples that lived there? And if so, where are they now? What happened to them? And why has that foot only got 4 toes? Was it supposed to be a statue of a god or a mythical beast of some kind? Is it even relevant? Or is it a red herring? A few more trivial questions. How did the black rock end up so far inland? Didn't even think of this one until I was re-watching a couple of scenes, and from season 1 I was doing a bit of a recap, and yeah, and it suddenly occurred to me that is for a ship, that is a long way inland. It seemed probably about a mile inland. How did it get there? I mean, it's a wooden ship. It wouldn't have been dragged there by the electromagnetic thing. Well, it's got metal in it, I suppose. It could have been. That was well before Dharma, so how does that relate to everything else? I don't know. Why do the others think that Walt is special? How did they know to go for Walt originally? Also, the list that Mike was given, Kate and Jack, yeah, fine. But it also had James Ford, and he's been going by the name Sawyer for the entirety of, well, for the entirety of the series. And even the 815 survivors only found out his name was James long after they had got rid of Ethan Rom. So how did the others know his real name? And how did they know Hugo's full real name? Since, again, he's been referred to as Hurley for the majority of the series. It makes me think that these people kind of knew that the 815 and who was going to be on it. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And the last question that I have no idea how to answer is, how did Penny and the Russians know what to look for? They said, yeah, oh no, we've missed it again. So they've been searching for very, very specific readings relating to this island for quite some time. And to say we missed it again, the last time would have been, well, when Desmond failed. So she's been looking for him since he set sail, pretty much. Or maybe a year after she got desperate that he hadn't returned. Either way, how did she know what to detect, what to look for? I think there's more to Penny's investigation than meets the eye there. This is going to end up about 3 times longer than the last one. I haven't even got into characters yet. Let's go back to questions. What do I think's going on? Do I think Desmond crashed the plane? Yes. I don't want to believe that. I'd like to believe that it's a coincidence, but it doesn't seem to be. And the electromagnetic build-up was extremely strong when we saw it. Whether it was enough to bring a plane out of the sky, I don't know, but it would explain why the black rock is so far inland. If it was literally dragged from the ocean by the force of the magnet. Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that Station 3 was the real one. It still doesn't explain where the magnet came from, or who vented it before, or why the world hasn't ended long before Dharma arrived. So what do I actually think is going on? Well, it's obvious to me that Kelvin was employed by Dharma themselves. So Dharma were obviously still operating at that point. At some point during Kelvin's tenure, communication stopped. Something happened, and he was left alone. He may have been told that there was a sickness or there was an infection on the outside world, and that's why he stayed, but slowly he investigated. So I think he tried to sort of figure out, along with his partner, exactly what was going on. But then his partner died. His partner obviously found out something so mind-shatteringly disturbing that he took his own life, leaving Kelvin to carry on the investigation. Obviously Kelvin found it hard. He was doing it on his own. He only had 108 minutes to do it in, which is why when Desmond arrived he was able to continue his investigation properly, realising that the infection didn't exist, mapping out where the other facilities were, etc, etc, maybe even coming across the others. Okay, then we know this is for true. But who are the others? I think the others were in exactly the same position as Kelvin. They were custodians of other hatches, been told that their work is the important one. And like Kelvin, they were just left to fend for themselves. And slowly the lies and the myths have twisted and got all mixed up. Yeah, that's who I think the others are. I think they're ex-custodians, exactly the same as John and Echo and Desmond. They were recruited by Dharma, or they've been recruited by each other at some point. Maybe they're the sole survivors of each of the other hatches. That they managed to all come together at some point, which would suggest that the others, or the hostiles, have about as much clue as to what's going on as anybody else, really. We shall see. We shall see. Right, I'm going to go on. I'm going to try and move on now, so it doesn't take so long. Characters analysis. This time last season, I really wasn't sure of the characters. As I said, season 1 didn't have that much in the way of character development as such. So by the end of the season, I was left with 5 characters I really liked, 2 that I really disliked, and the rest were average. Good average, bad average, but, you know, average. The 5 characters I liked, I think, were Hurley, Charlie, Claire, Saeed, and John Locke. Yeah, I've got a much better idea of who I like and who I don't like now. In the last season, the characters I disliked the most were Sawyer and Kate, with Shannon pretty close to the bottom. Okay, now things have changed very, very dramatically. For one thing, Sawyer has proved himself to be an absolute hero, like just amazing, and he is now definitely in my top 5. I don't know how I think between him trying to save Walt, him rescuing Mike and saving Mike's life, and literally just taking all of Mike's BS, and Sawyer just took it calmly and carried on helping Michael at every turn. He became a real hero. Yes, he's self-serving. Yes, he can be a dick sometimes. But yeah, he's become a very, very, very firm favourite. Saeed is also still in my top 5. John Locke has slipped. Charlie has slipped down as well. John Locke started behaving like a zealot. I think someone commented that he was very zealot-like. From the moment he discovered what was going on in that hatch, he became very dictatorial his way. He forced Jack. Like, he was quite happy to push the button, and Jack was quite happy to let him. But no, he forced Jack into it as well. Forced Jack into his way. And then when he lost his faith, boom. No one could. It was his way or no way. And that doesn't bode well. He became very, very zealoty. Is that a word? Shannon has not made it into my top 5. We didn't see enough of her really. But what we did see, I was starting to warm to her. And the fact that, you know, her relationship with Saeed blossoming was completely changing her character, I think said a lot about Shannon. You know, the Shannon we met in season 1 was selfish, self-absorbed, rude, shallow, just horrible. And then in season 2 we see this girl that, you know, refuses to sleep while looking for Vincent because she can't tell us, a 10-year-old, that she lost his dog because she needed sleep. Yeah, such acts of kindness, and we see her truly becoming a human being. And then she was taken from us just too early before we really got a chance to know the real Shannon. But yeah, I started to like her. Henry's kind of the anti-hero, isn't he? I really like his character. I think it's very interesting for the plot. But yeah, he's kind of a character I love to hate at the moment. And I was wrong about that, wasn't I? Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was saying, yeah, he's telling the truth. Let him go and everything. Wow. I would have got everyone killed. I'm glad I'm not the leader of that group. Echo. Echo's definitely my number 1 at the moment. He has become what John Locke was in season 1. Quiet, a man of faith, a man who knows what he believes and will do what he thinks is right, but will do it in an understated way, not drawing attention to himself. Random acts of kindness. That's what John Locke was in season 1, when he made the dog whistle and when he made the cot for Claire. He wouldn't even tell her what it was he was making until he could present it to her. So little ego. And I liked that about John. And then, yeah, he turned and became so egotistic. It was all about him. And now we've got Echo, and Echo is what John was. Quiet, resilient, does what he believes is right. Yeah, Echo's definitely a firm favourite. And I want to see more of him. If he gets killed off, that's it. I'm writing letters. It was shown like 10 years ago, but never mind, 15 years ago. Jin is also a character that I've grown to absolutely love. Sun and Jin, both. But Jin more so because I really disliked him and I really got him wrong in the first season. And now, I don't know, it's just so, now that he's accepted and accepted fatherhood and accepted that he's kind of got what he always wanted in the island. He's away from her father, he's away from the job he's being forced to do that he doesn't like, and he has time to build his relationship. So really, for Jin, this island is an absolute blessing, as it is for Rose, as it is for John, as it probably should be for Kate and Sawyer, considering they both would be arrested for murder the moment they entered the outside world. Cindy we didn't get to know. Alex I think will make a very interesting character in the future. Desmond I really like, but I think he's dead now. I don't think his character's actually needed anymore, so that's why I think he's been killed off. But I would be happy if he actually somehow survived. I really don't see how he could have survived. Mike, I absolutely hate. I really liked him in the first season, and I really hate him now. And I hope he has to answer for his crimes in the most final way possible. I don't like him. Kill him off. If anyone deserves to die at the moment, it's Michael. Walt has 40-something surrogate parents there ready to raise him. Not that he needs raising, he's more intelligent than most of the adults, but Rose and Bernard I love. I wish we'd get more of them. I'm glad we got a backstory for them. It just makes them more real. Adore Rose. I think Bernard is just so sweet. And his love for Rose is so overwhelming and complete that it just makes me happy. I know this is stupid because this is fiction, but it does. It brings hope. As I said, Penny I think is going to make an interesting character if she comes back into it, as I think Tom will, or Zeke. And yeah, I think I better start using people's real names. And I do know what Henry's real name is, or at least the name that he assumes, other than Henry. I'm not supposed to know it yet, but I saw it in the comments. So yeah, Ben and Tom and B, I think they all make interesting characters. Don't know any of the others there. Libby, I can't really say. Libby, we didn't even get to know at all, really. I've got a funny feeling she's not out of the series, though. Not like Shannon and Anna. I think they're out of the series completely. But Libby, I don't think she is. I think we're going to get more of her in flashbacks. John Locke, I've discussed. Jack. Jack is a great guy, isn't he? I mean, he should be in the top 5, but I just can't stand his stupid, good-looking face. I just want to punch him in the nose. I can't put Jack in my top 5. Admittedly, he's a great character. He's a good character. He's a good man. Morally, you can't fault him. But I just can't bring myself to put him in. He's too much the hero. Too much the all-American boy next door. And that kind of makes me vomit a little bit. So he goes in 6th place, I suppose. just for petty reasons. Danielle, I love Danielle. I want her more in the show. I want her to integrate into the community, and I want to see her. I want to see a flashback from her. I want to see at least one of her flashbacks, especially how she ended up on the island and what happened in those first few months to her. I'm gonna go Kate. Kate, I'm still unsure of. She's still quite low on my opinion list. Admittedly, not as low as she was. Now that we found out what she did and why, I kind of have a lot more respect for her and a lot more sympathy for her and her situation. But again, it's like Jack. She's too much the all-American girl next door type, and I can't bring myself to like her that much. I know that is so petty. It's so petty of me. But I'm kind of holding Jack and Kate to higher standards, I suppose. I'm setting the bar a little bit higher for them because they are supposed to be the hero and heroine of the show. Or so it appears to me, anyway. Charlie, he went downhill very quickly when he started, when he tried to baptise somebody else's child against the parents' wishes. And it's like, wow, that is just so morally wrong. His flashback story this season was probably the worst episode of this season, the worst episode of either season. It just didn't make any sense. I didn't see any point to that episode at all. It didn't further the plot in any way that I can see. So, yeah, because of that and because of his insistence of trying to get close to Claire when she didn't, in fact, want that, when she was trying to tell him to back off, yeah, he went down in my estimation because of it. But Claire has now accepted him back into her life and has even made the first move towards romantic couplings. And to be fair, I like them. I do ship Claire and Charlie. I don't know why. I don't do shipping, but I do ship them. So I'm glad that that has come to pass. But really, Charlie, come on, get it together. Anna Lucia, again, we didn't really get to know her. And we got kind of mixed moral readings from her, backstories. I liked her. I think she was strong. She was strong-willed. She was a good leader. And now she's dead. So, yeah, I liked her, but not amazeballs. I liked her. I just thought she was an interesting character. And I'm sorry to see her go, but she wasn't in it long enough to really make an impact, I don't think. Christian, Jack's father, I'm glad we're getting a lot more of him in the backstories. I still don't understand why Jack saw a vision of him in the jungle. There's been a lot of visions in the jungle, hasn't there? Walt. I mean, the others tried to explain the Walt's vision with, asking Mike, have you ever seen him where he shouldn't be? Where he couldn't possibly be. Trying to suggest that Walt has some sort of astral projection kind of talent. But then again, you've got the Jack hallucination. If it wasn't in fact a hallucination. What is going on with that? With these visions? And the whispering as well. Because that bird squawked Hurley. It didn't squawk Hugo. It squawked Hurley. Definitely. So, yeah, there's things going on the island that I have got no explanation for and that don't fit my theory at all. Or maybe they do and I just don't see how. I don't know. Right, let's move on to other people. Penny, Kelvin, yeah, I liked them. Two scientists, yeah. Charles Widmore, he's a dick. Anthony, yeah, I'm glad he's dead. He was a horror show. Helen, John's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend now. Yeah, I didn't actually like her that much, to be fair. And then we have the people from the orientation videos. Gerald and Karen DeGroot and Marvin Candle. I don't know. I don't know about them at all. I wonder if they're still around. And the smoke, I don't know what that is either. So, yeah, top 5 characters. God, that's taken me 15 minutes to tell you that. Top 5 characters at the moment would be Echo, Saeed, Claire, Jin, and Hugo. My bottom, I'm going to say my bottom 2 are Mike and, I don't want to say Kate. Can I see anyone I dislike more than Kate that's actually on the island? Nope. Well, I suppose Henry. Because I love to hate him. But no, it's Kate, really. It's Kate and Mike. And Kate doesn't deserve to be there. I know Kate doesn't deserve to be there. It's really petty. But I'm looking through all the characters that are actually on the island at the moment. And Kate is the one I care least about. Aside from Mike at the moment. Okay, I've already mentioned what my least favourite episode was. My least favourite episode of the season was Fire and Water. Because it didn't make any sense, I've already mentioned that. My favourite episode, I think, was Psalm 23. I think that's the one where we got Echo's backstory and how the heroine ended up on the plane and the plane ended up on the island. Aside from that, I think second favourite would have been Question Mark. And third favourite would be Lockdown. not including the finale, because obviously the finales would always win because they're finales. So I won't include that. Moving into the future, season 3. What do I think is going to happen in season 3? I think season 3 is going to concentrate, I hope it's going to concentrate on Penny's search for the island. I think maybe we're going to get new people on the island, or at least not new people, but new characters from the original Crash, maybe coming to the front. And hopefully that will last longer than Leslie asked. I think there's going to be conflict between the others and the 815s. And I think we're definitely going to get more clues. I think we're going to get another orientation video at some point. So that means they're going to go searching for the other hatches. One of which would have been the hatch that Claire was taken to, which was some sort of medical facility. That's what I think is going to happen in season 3. I don't know if we're going to get any character deaths. If we do, it should be Michael, but it probably won't be. It will probably be, well, Cindy, maybe, because we haven't really seen her, so maybe she escapes only to be killed. But that's the sort of thing the show's likely to do. I mean, I'm really loving the way this series is going, and I'm really, really eager to get into season 3 now. So, yeah, I'm going to pack this up. It's New Year's Eve, and I promised to get this out before the new year, so I've literally got like 6 hours to get this all processed, cut up, edited, and ready for you to watch. So, I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I'll try and do better next time. No, I won't. It'll be the same ad-lib, and this was all ad-libbed. There's, apart from my notes, there's no real script to it. You might have been able to tell that. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in season 3. Until then, take care. Bye bye.